Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'm sweaty because oh my God, I've been trying to keep up with the Manchester United news. It's been move after move after move. I mean, come on, Ineos, the way they're doing business, it's almost so hard to just keep track of it now. There's a lot of movement going on at Manchester United. I am excited. I am ecstatic. I am happy that finally the club is moving like a club once again. This is the club that I fell in love with. I didn't do a sound check, but I hope if I'm muted, you will write and tell me muted or something like that. But the main thing is the major bomber that we're going to talk about today is that Mason Greenwood has confirmed that an exit is happening from Manchester United. Second thing is that Leny Yoro is discussing payments with Manchester United. This means that it's actually going to happen. It's most likely going to happen. The deal between Manchester United and Leny Yoro is becoming more and more reality. Yesterday, if you were here, we talked about, maybe potentially convincing whatever, the people around him, his family, his girlfriend, his homies, that look at Manchester United. They need you. They want you. They adore you. And, Real Madrid, yeah, they would like to have you. But you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about this in more depth and also some more football news as well. Not just Manchester United. We'll talk a little bit about what is happening on the transfer market, through the section of the show that's called Fabrizio Tweets or Ornstein Bomber. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Botswanapapi. This is the Football Power Hour. I want to welcome you here on this lovely Tuesday. And let's get this show started, shall we? Bruno Fernandes! So, first thing is first. I mean, Tier 1. When Tier 1 talks, David Ornstein made what I call, an Ornstein
It's
bomber.
a David Ornstein bomber that's dropped.
It dropped today, the Ornstein bomber, and this was more or less the first initial confirmation that Mason Greenwood knows that an exit is about to happen. Initially, I think the only hint that we had was when you went to the Manchester United website. If you were here for the stream where we were talking about which players we should sell, which players we should keep, etc., the hint that we got from the Manchester United website was Mason Greenwood being black and white, and every other player had a color picture. When you click on Manchester United first team players on the official Man United website, Mason Greenwood was black and white and everybody else was color picture. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure something is up, right? I mean, it will be a different story if everybody else was black and white and Mason Greenwood was color, right? But this time around, it was a hint from the club to say, you know what? This is the list of the first team players, but this one here, we don't consider him a first team player. It's the honest truth, whether you like it or not. That is the hint that we got from Manchester United side. And now David Ornstein today pretty much has mentioned that Mason Greenwood and Mason Greenwood's camp, rather, has more or less given a green light to the imminent exit of Mason Greenwood. Now, there's a lot of stuff still to discuss. There's a lot of stuff still to be ironed out. But the main thing is there is some movement. Now, if you're like me, I was starting to get into a little bit of I'm getting worried kind of grounds of like, what's happening? Are we just going to be quiet every time we're playing a preseason friendly game when there is no movement at all in the transfer window? Like, the transfer window is open for a finite amount of time. And if we're just going to have Omar Barada, Ashworth, and Wilcox going to the preseason games and not actually doing the transfers, I was going to be worried. But today there is no game. Today it looks like there is some actual movement happening. Now, let me actually open up the news update, because I do not want to paraphrase it. This is a very important topic that we're talking about, and I want to do it justice. Now, here's what I want to say before we get into this topic. First of all, I want to welcome everybody that's in the chat. I want to say big warm welcome to you, men like Will. I see Mark in the house. I see Kenny Fan TV. Shout out to you. I see Shay. Shout out to you, Shay. First things first. Kenny Fan TV says Ornstein just loves to twist words sometimes. We'll talk a little bit about that. Kenny Fan TV. Mark says this is one stream you should not do to be real, bro. Why? Since he is who should not be spoken about on your channel. Since when is Mason Greenwood forbidden on my channel? I talk about what I want to talk about on the channel. When I want to talk about it. Now, this show is titled Mason Greenwood. I'm not a proponent of talking about Mason Greenwood if we're watching a Euro game. This is Spain versus France, and then we do a deep dive into Mason Greenwood. This title of the stream is very clear. Mason Greenwood confirms exit from Man United. And I know that it's a very, very important topic that should be talked about with some extreme care and delicacy, because it's a triggering topic. It's a real topic that is, unfortunately, a lot of women are subject to abuse from their partners around the world. And this is something that, this show is not about whether Mason Greenwood did it or didn't do it. It's not about the evidence that is out there. It's about Mason Greenwood leaving Man United, period. And I think we're going to talk about it today. All the people will be offended unless they're going to pretend they're nice people, not select. No. I don't buy that. There is this place in Seattle, right? On the west coast of America. And I think it's called Pine Market or something like that. It's one of the biggest seafood markets in the US. And if you don't like the smell of seafood and you go to Pine Market, well, whose fault is it? The market, the seafood market, or the person who doesn't like seafood going to that place and he's like, I don't like the smell. Like, what are we talking about here, man? For real, be serious, Mark. Like, I want to make sure that I obviously respect the conversation and say Mason Greenwood, he looks like he's going. Yesterday, I think in yesterday's show, we were talking about the fact that it is a possibility also that we might end up with nobody taking Greenwood, and this was obviously before the Ornstein bomber. And I said that because, there was actual real pushback from the mayor of Marseille. Matter of fact, since we're on the Greenwood topic, we might as well just go straight into it. And I want to bring this up to light. If you do not know, the mayor of Marseille, called Benoit Payan, I believe that's his name, he said these words about the potential signing of Mason Greenwood by Olympique Marseille. He said, I will ask the president of Marseille not to recruit Greenwood. I don't want my club to be covered in the shame of someone who hits his wife. I don't want my club to be covered in the ashes of someone who hits his wife like that. Big words from Benoit Payan. Now, when you juxtapose that with the Ornstein bomber, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. or the Fabrizio Bomba as well? Like, what's going to happen in the future? Because Fabrizio tweeted, Olympique Marseille have Mason Greenwood's green light to move as the final details of contract and salary are being discussed. Manchester United have accepted 30 mil package offered by Olympique Marseille, including a sell-on clause of around 40 or 50%. Final details on player side, then it's a done deal. Now, this it looks like there's going to be a clash here. And the question is Olympique Marseille ready? You know, is Olympique Marseille ready for the backlash that they're going to receive for welcoming a player like Mason Greenwood? If you are curious, I want to also read you these words that Roberto De Zerbi had said about Greenwood. And he, I found it very, very, very interesting that actually Roberto De Zerbi, a manager, said these words. If I can find them, I will. I do not want to paraphrase them by no means because of the nature of how delicate this topic is. What's his name? Is that how you spell De Zerbi? Let me type Roberto De Zerbi. Roberto De Zerbi said these words. Ooh, Greenwood had last call with De Zerbi before lunch today. Marseille now waiting for the arrival of Mason Greenwood, according to Alfredo Pedulla. Okay. Word. Hey, man, they've been on the phone. The former Brighton boss, who is now the coach for Olympique Marseille, has said this about Mason Greenwood. He hasn't signed. There's not much to say. He's a world-class player. I don't know his background, no matter the player. Once they sign here, they become like my children. I protect them through thick and thin. Maybe in private, I'll pull their ears, but in public, I'll defend them like my sons. Is the gaffer of Olympique Marseille speaking on Greenwood. Now, this is going to be an interesting back and forth. I believe it's not just going to be as simple as that, honestly. This is going to be one of those topics that is not it's not just like he's just going to slide in to the Olympique Marseille team and then nothing happens. You know what I mean? We shall be watching it with a curious eye. There's obviously people that have Mason Greenwood tattoos that believe Mason Greenwood should be a Man United player. And fair play to you. You have your own opinion. You have the right to have that opinion. And there are certain people that are so player driven. Their love for the player is so huge that they can't see the club, the interest of the club more than anything. And hey, I'm not here to change your opinion. Your opinion is your opinion. And matter of fact, if you have a Mason Greenwood tattoo, I think Olympique Marseille deserves some viewership. They will be waiting for more fans. And you should go support Olympique Marseille if you do not support Man United and you are Player FC. I love Man United before I loved Greenwood, before I loved Wayne Rooney, before I loved David Beckham, Roy Keane, before I loved Scholes. It was Man United first. So my love for the club triumphs any player, and I am fine with us losing a world-class player on the pitch. Nobody can deny that Mason Greenwood has one of the highest potential of any player that is currently kicking, any young player that is currently kicking the ball. But hey, man, there's other generational talents out there. There's the Lamine Yamals that we can find that have not been unearthed yet. And my excitement is more about the movement that is happening in the transfer market. Finally, it means if Greenwood leaves, somebody can take his locker, somebody can take his parking spot, and now somebody can take his salary, you know, because at the end of the day, he's been on our payroll and it's time for us to offload some deadwood. Big shout out to men like Manch in the building saying, all right, let me get through the comments real quick. And then we can also focus on the next talking point. Papi charges for you all of a sudden. You want to talk about Mel? I talk about any player I want to talk about. I can talk about food. I can cook on this show. I did cook porridge the other day. It's my channel. I do what I want. Big up, buds. Bye bye. Mason from them on Southgate gone too. Today is a great day.
I can't believe today was a good day.
Finally, man, finally some movement. I like it in that way. I like in the fact that finally we'll see some movement, you know? Brendan says Yoro, the one for us. We're going to talk about Yoro in a moment, Brendan. We're going to talk about Yoro in a moment. I want to just close the button on this and big up Jonathan Hernandez says, but I hear Marcus praying to God that this isn't real. Like, we can tell Mark this, actually. By the way, these things can fall through, you know. This is not a here we go. This is not officially confirmed, you know. They can be, oh, Mason Greenwood is discussing payments and things like that and salaries. And then the pushback from the mayor and maybe, who knows, maybe even Macron, the president or somebody even higher than the mayor might say something. And then Mason Greenwood doesn't end up going to League A. Serie A also had some stuff to say that I want to make sure that we talk about as well. There's something from Serie A. Ladies and gentlemen, this might make you laugh. If you did not know, the president of the club called Lazio, he's a clown, you know. He said this. His name is Latito. He said, I have offered 25 mil plus add-ons and 50% sell-on clause. This is more or less about the same deal that Olympique Marseille offered Manchester United. And he specifically said this. This is when? Yesterday, actually. I have offered 25 mil plus add-ons and a 50% sell-on clause to Man United for Mason Greenwood. Several clubs tried to enter the race just to disturb us and make the deal collapse. After Juventus, also Napoli did the same. He said these words, right? And then earlier on, he also said, earlier on this month, he had said something about, oh boy. Where is those words, man? He had said that he had found, here's the thing. I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't want to spend too much time on this topic. So he had said these words that I've moved on from the Mason Greenwood offer. I have a player that is 10 times better than Mason Greenwood that is coming to Lazio. And I was scratching my head saying, what? Say what?
Jesus is Lord.
What is he talking about? You know, it seems like he's really salty about this and he really wants the Mason Greenwood deal to happen with Lazio. But obviously, Maurizio Sarri, who is, I believe, is the current coach for Lazio, has not come out publicly like, say, Roberto Di Zerbi has. So it makes me feel like Mason Greenwood feels like, you know, a public backing like this from Roberto Di Zerbi is actually going to be a good move for him, you know, to try and go and to try and go to a club where, you know, that there'll be turmoil, but at least the club will put you under the wing and really back you to the fullest, like one of his sons, as he said. You know, I found it a little bit of red flaggy that he said, I do not know much about Mason Greenwood's background. You know, I was like, come on, man, let's call a spade a spade. You know about the background. You know exactly what is at stake here. That is why you're talking about, I'm going to back the player like one of my sons. Anyway, that is what he said, by the way. Will says, oh man, I'm not going to. Yale says, Greenwood is just doing what is best for his career right now. Will he maybe become a United player again? We don't know, right? Yale, there's that possibility that, bro, he just needs to go spend 2 years somewhere else as a club, as a player for a different club, you know, and then maybe like people will even have a little bit more leeway in terms of you know, like accepting the reformed Mason Greenwood. There's obviously subsets of people that want to see him do some, if he's really remorseful for what he did, they want to see him do some activism work and so forth. So I really want to say he deserves an opportunity to rebuild his life. And he deserves, just like anybody that's made a mistake, you deserve an opportunity to go and start afresh somewhere else. And all the best to Mason Greenwood in his new chapter. Yale, what you're saying makes me wonder. If you were him, would you go to the Roberto De Zerbi camp or the Maurizio Sarri camp? That is the question I want to pose as well. Which prospect feels more exciting? Which prospect feels more exciting? If you were Mason Greenwood, where would you go? Now, I want to actually take a quick little deeper look into what's happening with Olympique Marseille. Project De Zerbi. What is De Zerbi cooking? He is so adamant about Greenwood, and I think Greenwood's future is really, really in safe hands over there. You know, if he gets De Zerbi as his owner, as his manager, pardon me, I was thinking Jefe, as his manager, he is actually going to really, really do well. Big up to Star Lord saying, it's such a shame Greenwood messed his career up at United. Man, damn, it is such a shame. Sorry, I didn't read the whole thing, you know. Star-Lord. Oh, man, calling a person of color thug could be considered a thug. What did you call him? Who's calling Greenwood a thug, man? Brendan. Guys, let's be chill. Let's be chill. Let's be chill. Don't make me disable comments now. He'll be the next Mbappe in France, says Jonathan. All right. All right. All right. Anyway, we know France needs some actual like stars, you know. That's why I was looking at PSG they want to sign Victor Osimhen, you know. They are really trying to sign Victor Osimhen. Big up to Siabonga Brian in the house. Button. Thank you. Thank you so much. Guys, I just want to remind you, this is a good vibes only zone. Make sure if you're talking about this, you try to be on your best behavior. Don't attack the person. Don't talk negative words. You know, just hit the like button and just watch. Don't comment if you have nothing positive to comment, by the way. Yeah, usually I'm always like, oh, comment, interact. But this is a topic that I want to make sure that, you know, we try and respect each other, even though we all know a lot of people out on different ends on the spectrum about Mason Greenwood. Now, Olympique Marseille, let's look at what De Zerbi is cooking. He's got Ismail Kone. This is the 24-25 incomings, arrivals at Olympique Marseille. They've got Guendouzi. Had loaned him to Lazio, talking about the devil. They have, who else? Vitinha. Oh, the center forward Vitinha. He had gone to Genoa. It's the end of his loan. Who else is a notable name here? Conrad de la Fuente, left winger from Eibar. I do not know that guy. But there is a few names here. This project is looking very interesting. Guendouzi in that midfield, Greenwood in that lineup, Ismail Kone as well in the midfield. They could actually end up challenging PSG, you know. Olympique Marseille is cooking something. All right. Ndiaye to Everton. That is the departure that they had. Vitinha, that's that loan that they to Genoa. All right. We are going to be looking at Project De Zerbi with a little bit of interest, with an eye of interest moving forward, because I am really curious where he's going to end up and how his impact is going to be at Olympique Marseille. It's a club that won't have that much like hoopla, you know, that hoopla in the sense of pressure to win the league. Nobody at Olympique Marseille is asking Roberto De Zerbi to win the league. So it's going to be very, very interesting. You know what I mean? To see what he does. Because Maurizio Sarri at Lazio has been nothing less than underwhelming, if you ask me. Let's move on from this, because all I see in the chat is Greenwood this, Greenwood that. Yale says Italy would be a better destination. I think there he does not have the governor of the city talking trash. Fair point, Yale. Fair point. If the mayor is and the governor and politicians are going to get involved, And this is just the beginning, you know. This Benoit guy is just one. And I think the more Olympique Marseille move towards making this official, I predict right here, right now, that there will be even some more talks. And the question is, will they be ready for this? Poor Greenwood, he could have been started learning French. And now he's gonna his Spanish is okay. He might have to learn Italian or French. Craziness. Shay, I'm gonna put the link in a few minutes. I want to talk about Leny Yoro, and also I want to actually, before I do that, before we talk about Leny Yoro, let's preface the conversation with this, with the Ornstein bomber that started this morning, right? David Ornstein, first of all, had said Manchester United. I believe this is why Kenny, he's very good at twisting his words. Let me not paraphrase the on and say, this is what he had to say. It was more or less through a piece through the Athletic. And he said, Manchester United more or less they might have to make the decision between either Leny Yoro or Ligt. Which one feels like the better choice? Leny or Matthijs de Ligt? Now, I'm going to do this. I just want to get even an opinion on 5 people. If you have to pick one, which player are you signing? How you spell signing? Signing at United. Is it Eurovision or is it Ligt? Boom. Kindly let your voice be heard. I want to know what you think in this community. What is your preference if you had to pick one? Is it going to be Leny Yoro or is it going to be Ligt? Now, remember that Yoro is a young player, very young, to the extent that he's, I think, 18 years when we looked him up yesterday. He was born in 2005. He's got, is it Somali parents? One of the parents is Somali. And yeah, it's an interesting profile because you can see the potential that he has. And I mentioned, for me personally, I've never watched a full 90 minutes of Leny Yoro. I've seen extensive clips though. And I can tell you that, you know, like we talked about this yesterday. Somebody said, it must have been Manj actually, who said, anybody can look good in a compilation of clips. We can make a botswanapapi compilation clip and I will look good. But there is some compilation clips that the content is already good. And it's a mashup of really good content. You know what I'm saying? So I want to just say Leny Yoro will be going for bags of potential. We'll be going for, and you know what happens with potential? It is not always guaranteed that it will reach its actual height. You know, it will materialize. Lots of players had potential. Not only that, at Manchester United, we signed players in the defensive line, like say Vidic. I listened to that Vidic interview on Vibe with 5, and he talked about how difficult it was the first time. The first time he was playing for United. When he came, he was not as good. Patrice Evra is another player that you can tell that, like, yeah, it wasn't plug and play. So the question is, if we sign Leny Yoro, he's 18 years, and then he comes to Man United, he has a similar season as, say, what's our boy's name again? The one that we just let go. Willy Kambwala, who was
sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Maybe not so good. You know, like Willy Kambwala, like he started off really good. I was surprised that we got rid of him, you know, because he had a moment where a game, I think it was versus Liverpool, where, you know, he slipped. It was around the same week when Van de Ven slipped and somebody else. There was a third player that slipped as well. It was like a slippery match week in the Premier League last season. And, you know, and for me, that was not enough to say, nah, this guy is not good enough. I feel like we made up our minds too early on Willy Kambwala. But then it's also comforting the fact that, like, we have a buyback clause, and we want to just let him go develop and gain experience. And if we want to get him, then we get him. So that is a good comforting thing, that we are also making sure that we're looking at young talent, also at the potential price value of them, instead of just like hoarding these players until the market value just drops and they don't really get to realize that potential. So anyway, so the profile of Leny Yoro is an 18-year-old who's got a lot bags of potential, and Matthijs de Ligt is somebody that is more or less close to his actual potential. He's still young. He still has some things about his game to develop, and I'm curious which player you go with. Can we have at least like 5 or 6 people let that voice be heard on this? I want to quickly find out what this community, which player this community values. Is it Leny Yoro? Is it de Ligt? I see we have at least 6 likes. Shout out all the time. Appreciate you. Star-Lord is back. Star-Lord says, I'm back. I just had to go pick up my nephew from the park, and he lives with me. I got to do the duties. Got to Star-Lord. Thank you for letting me know that you're back. We appreciate you. And Shay will let you know that there's a few people in here. Well, actually, we have 7 people watching on YouTube. Now I need all 7 you guys to vote. I want to know, which player are you rating? Is it de Ligt or Yoro? You have to pick one. Big Willie wants to play first team footy. That's the only reason he's leaving. And you know what? I salute that. He said, no, I'm gonna pack my bags and go really try my luck elsewhere. And it's no bad blood. And that's the Man United that I like to have, where we actually are ruthless and not too sentimental. We've been sentimental FC for way too long, if you get what I'm saying. Star-Lord says, I'm going with de Ligt. This is McLaren looks to maybe become Nigeria's next national team manager. No, Yale. Is that for real? No way. Nigeria? W for Nigeria. No way. The Super Eagles will be super again. No way. All right. The lad had let the lad go work. Thank you, Star-Lord, for saying that. The Nigerian national team have held talks with Manchester United senior first team coach Steve McLaren about that vacant manager position. Come on. Wait, did I press the boo button? 007 for me. Nigeria in the mud, says Kenny. That is crazy. Imagine Steve McLaren eating jollof. Because they're gonna have to give him some culture, some Nigerian, flavor, So it's gonna be really, really fun to witness that. So I really think it's a win. It's a W for Nigeria, and I support that move. I'm really, really happy for Steve McLaren if it actually happens, Yale. So the other thing that I wanted to quickly mention, Steve McLaren is a number 2 and a good one too. He will never be a good number 1. Interesting opinion there from Star. Big McLaren is a number 2 and a good one. He's a good number 1 too. He'll never be a good number 1. Okay. Well, now is his time for him to go prove himself. We'll see there how the Nigerian team does in they qualify for the World Cup now. I honestly remember a Nigerian friend crying about Nigeria. Let's see if they actually qualified for the World Cup. Let me find out. Oh boy. 2026 World Cup qualification. Oh, they were fifth. Ew, brother. Right above Zimbabwe. Lesotho was even higher than Nigeria. Wait, so does that mean they did not make it at all? Wow. Wow. Nigeria World Cup qualifying hopes took a heavy. Oh my goodness. This is this is big. Will Nigeria be able to play in the World Cup? This is crazy if they don't. Super Eagles have suffered a damaging World Cup qualifying blow after that defeat, that 2-1 defeat to Benin. But did they qualify though? Why am I not finding definitive answer on this? This would be so crazy if Nigeria do not play in the World Cup, you know. I did not know that there were fifth in Group C of the World Cup qualification of the African groups, you know. And this is not good. They could not qualify above Rwanda, above South Africa, above Benin, and Lesotho. Official, Nigeria is mudded. Benedicto says, I've never watched Yoro play, so I think I have to choose Ligt. Fair enough. The turkeys and the chickens are doing well. Let's also quickly check on our poll. We have 5 votes, and the people have spoken in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're one of those people that has not voted yet, this is the moment to vote because I want to close the poll, and the poll is swaying one direction, you know. So please let your voice be heard, and let's move on from Leny, Yoro, and Ligt. There's one more talking point that I want to make sure that we cover before I share the link. Matter of fact, I'm going to share the link right now in case anybody that wants to have that say on this. Quick little say. I don't want to make this an hour show. I want to make it as these shows short, you know. Yeah, Starlord, I got what you meant. Sorry, that didn't sound right. Steve McCurran is way better being an assistant coach than head coach. I totally understood that. And I feel like now it's his time for him to stop being an assistant coach. He needs to grow and actually go out there and do his thing, you know. He needs to go out there and show us what he believes in, what is his coaching philosophy, so that he can convince people like Starlord, people like me that also have doubts about him, and actually show us what his football ideas and vision is all about, you know. So Kenny Fan TV went with Ligt over Yoro because I've seen Ligt in Juve and Ajax. It makes very logical sense that you have some more data on Ligt, so you make your choice on Ligt. You know, my preference, I wanted Nigeria and Australia to be in the potential group stages so that I will be there on KG streams watch along and hi and really hate on him. That is too funny. All right. 6 votes. The poll is closed, and ladies and gentlemen, the people have spoken. 67% have gone with Matthijs de Ligt, 66%, and 63 have gone with Leny Yoro. It makes sense. It makes sense. You have enough data from de Ligt. You've seen him defend against Kylian Mbappe. You've seen him defend against Ronaldo. You've seen him defend against who else? Who else was a big striker that I saw him face? Play against Benzema as well. De Ligt he's young, but he has experience, and I also will sway towards, just marginally though, sway towards signing de Ligt if I had to pick one or the other. My impression was that like we were gonna get both, and this is why I am a little bit disappointed when you ask me, because Willie Kambwala felt like, okay, letting Kambwala go means that we're going to definitely get at least 3 center backs, new center backs, but that is not the case. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to also talk about another thing that was, I think Yoro will be a good player for us too. Another thing that more or less dropped today on the news in football today, we have to talk about it. It will be remiss not to talk about it. I wanted to put it in the title of this show, but it was just too many words, too many titles. Ladies and gentlemen, our summers are never going to be fun again because Gareth Southgate has stepped down. First of all, the rhetoric is the one that I want to address. The narrative of Gareth Southgate is the one who chose to leave. It means the English Footballing Association did not have enough cojones to make a decision on Gareth Southgate. He's the one that chose to announce that, you know what? I am leaving. And after 102 games and almost 8 years in charge of the Three Lions, Gareth Southgate decided today, enough is enough. We're not going to get any more entertainment. If you're a Southgate critic, somebody or Southgate, what is it called again? You're in the Southgate, not in the Southgate Defense League. There's something I want to show you really quickly that I was like, this is interesting. Star-Lord says it's 2 years too late. Star-Lord, you funny. But listen. This might put some things into perspective for you, Star-Lord. This is England before Southgate and England after Southgate. 1984 didn't qualify. 86, they were in the quarterfinals. 88, group stage, they lost every game. That was the worst time. The worst year for England. But look at how things have happened. Wait, where's 1966 on this? They didn't have 66. Why did they skip 66? The main point is what I want to focus on Southgate's legacy is this part. Semi-final in 2018, final in 2020, 2022 quarterfinals, 2024 went to the final. Is this really a disaster? Lord says, yes, I could have won with this England squad, you know. It's not like Southgate is a tactical. This is so crazy when you think about his win ratio is a little bit over 61%. And I think this guy, you know, it wasn't even based on whether he'd win the Euros or not. He was just tired. He was like, I have to go. And you could tell there was all the back and forth about, oh, you know, Gareth Southgate, you know, and what's his name? Jude Bellingham had a spat. They're not getting along. And all of that, I felt like it was a little bit too, what's the word? Toxic. It was getting a little bit too toxic. And it was just enough time for a refresher. They needed something, a new voice. And I want to applaud somebody that is able to recognize that, by the way. Hold on, let me fix my screen here. I want to recognize somebody that is able, one of the hallmarks of a good soldier for me is knowing when to attack and knowing when to retreat. And Gareth Southgate, you're not a stellar soldier, but you're a good soldier for England. And I'm sad personally that the entertainment is gone because I really loved trolling Southgate. I loved the content that he was giving us. But I bet for all the England fans out there around the world, they are happy. Today was a good day, just in the words of Munch. So, you know, Kenny Fan TV says Southgate is the luckiest, jammiest manager of all time. Keep this guy away from United. That's the other thing now. He'll be looking at Chelsea, the Chelsea job, or the side eye. He'll be looking at what's another maybe job that he could get in the Premier League? Newcastle with a bombastic side eye. You know, maybe also Leicester? I feel like Leicester, if Leicester end up firing their coach early, like say in December, Gareth Southgate could come in and we could see him in the Premier League with his waistcoat, And I would like it. I would love it. Um, the major question I want to pose as we conclude this stream is who should replace Gareth Southgate? We'll make up. Obviously, I feel like it's a larger question when you look at the profile of managers that are available. But the easiest answer that comes to my mind, Starlord says, really? You know that he relegated England from the Nations League. This guy does not leave a good legacy, The Gareth Southgate legacy is horrible. The question I want to pose, do not distract me, Starlord. The question I want to pose is who should replace Gareth Southgate? In your opinion, I want to know, please put your comment in the chat. There is almost 10 people watching this right now. I want to close the stream with that conversation. In your opinion, matter of fact, I should also just do this. I should do this. Who should replace Gareth Southgate? We'll do a poll on it when we're doing a major Gareth Southgate stream. But I would like kindly ask you to put your comment in the chat about who you think should replace Southgate while I do the thing that I was trying to do at the beginning of the stream, but then got distracted by all the comments that were so triggering and negative for the most part. What I like to do every show is spend a few minutes just looking to see what the latest news are and what the Fabrizio Bomba is saying. So let's see. Understand Brazilian right back Vinicius Tobias has agreed to sign a new 5-year deal at Shakhtar Donetsk. Real Madrid didn't trigger the buy option clause, and Vinicius Tobias has returned to Shakhtar. He wasn't good enough for Real Madrid. Shouldn't be good enough for Man United. We shouldn't look at him. Negotiations between Al Nassr and mancity for Ederson currently off after 30 mil proposal rejected and 60 mil request. Come on. Oh my God. Why are they having fall? What is it called? Fall through? Is that the word? When the talks just fall through. I don't know if that's the right word, but you understand what I'm trying to say. Why are they not going forward? I want to see Ederson go to Saudi. Another new piece of news in football world is Newcastle CEO Darren Eales on Eddie Howe as option for England job. Oh, it's like they're listening into this. Newcastle CEO said this: for sure would fight to keep Eddie Howe at the club. For us, he's exactly the right man for the project we are on at Newcastle United, and that is why we're committed to a long-term deal with him. We love him. That takes Eddie Howe out the picture, doesn't it? Let's see if anybody mentions, okay, any manager. Benedict went with Southgate, can go to Nigeria. Kenny Fan TV says, I would say Klopp should be the next manager for England. Ooh, Klopp could cook, Klopp as well Starlord agrees with Kenny Fan TV saying Klopp, Poch, Jose, and Tuchel. That's 4 big names, Pick one, Starlord. I think Jose would be a great international manager. He wouldn't be around the player long enough to fall out with any of them. Fallout, that's the word that I was looking for. With any of them, and he knows how to win a tournament. Big up Starlord for that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear the words of the man who was there when the Southgate Defense League was formed. I'm talking about Admiral Southgate.
Yo, what you saying, bro?
Big up, Admiral. Um,
How's the volume? Is it good?
the voluming. There was a little echo,
Okay.
but I think it's good now.
All right. All right.
Um, yeah, 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 yeah,
What we
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
What we saying? What you saying, people? Smash the like. You know what to do. You know what time it is. You hit the like button. You know, if you haven't subscribed, those of you on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed, you know what time it is. Just come to down to the YouTube section. It takes less than 2 seconds. Just minimize your YouTube section,
Yes,
subscribe, turn on the notification, and go back to Twitter. It's as easy as that. Big up
easy.
yourself. Thank you so much for all of you supporting. Now back to Southgate, right? Oh
Yes,
my
sir.
goodness.
The,
Uh,
first of all, before
mhm,
before we
mhm,
even get deep into it, don't you
mhm.
find it weird that the English FA could not make a decision?
Um, I feel like okay, it's on the one hand it's weird because bro, like let me put my defense league down now. Let me put the hat
Yeah,
down. On the one hand, like it shouldn't be something that you guys should even have a meeting over. It should just be we're doing it. We get rid of this manager. Look at the pool of talents he's got. Right? It's like a case of someone having soap in their eyes, but and they're in water and they're
that's it.
still looking for somebody to come get them. You know, bro,
Yeah.
just dip your head in water and rinse your eyes. But so it's not it shouldn't be a difficult one. But I feel like now putting my Southgate hat back on.
Oh
I
Lord.
feel like there is
Put your
somebody in.
waistcoats. Put your waistcoats
Okay, let
back.
me let me, let me put my waistcoat back on. Right, it feels like there's somebody in within that ranks that is personal, has some personal relationship with Southgate. Right, that is part of the decision makers. He has a very personal relationship with Southgate, not just one, maybe a couple of them, and they're like, "Ah, how do we just let's maybe talk to Southgate and say, okay, it's best if you actually resign, bring a statement and say, okay, you know what, you're stepping down, stuff like that. So it wouldn't look like we cut ties with you. It wouldn't look like it's coming from our end, right? We're going to put a statement out there saying that we would back you, but we need you to come out and just put a counter statement and say, you know what, due to whatever happened, I'm just going to take a back seat and just leave the. So it's more of you doing us a favor again. So on that note, I'm like, okay, I know Southgate is not everybody's cup of tea. Neither is he my cup of tea. The reason why I went into the Southgate defense link was the whip the man was getting. Right, we all can't be on one side of the fence. You know,
Yes,
somebody has
yes,
to be on the other side. Or people have to be on the other side to balance this out. Right, that's the reason why I went on the other side. I'm like, okay, let me see. It's a case of let this man do his thing and dig his hole for himself. Because at the
so
end of the day, right, he's gonna bury himself. See, it's either he sinks or he swims, if you
yeah,
know what I mean. So
yes,
and obviously it ended up the wrong way, which means he sank, right? So
yes,
so so for me, whilst we say he's not good enough, and one thing I was saying that most people are thinking maybe Drex is just maybe just too blinded, right? It's
yeah,
we all can have the same opinion. You can't be expecting somebody. You say the man is bad. That's why I
yeah.
stopped talking about McTominay. You say the man is not good enough, but yet you want him to deliver. He can't have both. You say the man don't have what it takes to give you the success you're looking for, but now he doesn't win it, and you're like, why?
It's like
I understand. Go ahead.
asking your plumber to fix your car.
On the Andre, so I understand why you're upset because you think he has pool of talent right in front of him, but the man can't see. You can see it, the man cannot see it. So that's why
Yeah,
I kept telling people, I was like, just let him do whatever he wants to do. At the end of the day, there's the big boys upstairs. And when I saw that statement, I'm like, yo, I was putting faith in these big boys upstairs to make a call, and they're like, nah, they're just. You know how you go to a friend's party and
yeah.
because it's your close mate and it's offering you something you know you would not eat, right? But it's right there in front of you and you're just using your fork and you're just like just mixing and turning, and the guy like, oh, you're not having a bite, you're just, no, I like this conversation, let's just keep this conversation going, right? But
Yeah,
you're expecting the guy to read in between the lines and say, okay, but it's like this guy doesn't like this thing, right? So
yeah.
that's how I see it. They should have been able to make the call, but they wanted him to just do it. And yeah, Southgate, now looking at the options, oh, I okay, good,
Before
go
the
ahead.
options, before
Okay,
the options.
okay.
So a thing that I want to bring up too is like, look at the Spanish Federation, how they
Yeah,
move. De
yeah,
La Fuente
yeah,
came up the ranks, under
yeah,
19,
yeah.
under 21.
Yeah.
They have footballing people in there. They tried the same also with what's the guy that went to Real Madrid? Lopetegui.
Lopetegi,
Do you
Lopetegi.
know there's the football
There's a pathway.
right now? The people that support England are not ready for this honest truth bomber that I'm about to say, that the English FA does not have footballing people in their committee.
No,
They literally like don't know
they
what they're
don't.
doing. They
I think they don't. It's more of politicians than actually football people.
right. You mentioned they're like, bro, they Southgate has friends. Like, if anything, before we even talk about other options that are out there, what's
Mm.
happening with Steve Holland, who was Southgate's number two? What has he been doing this whole time? Just there for the vibes?
I
Or the
see. I even saw. I saw. This guy was on his bench. Was part of his team. I see. You see. I see. Bayang, the Chelsea legend, right? Bank, and I
yes,
think
Floyd.
yeah, Bank was there. Even I can't remember if I'm mistaken. Craig Bellamy now for Burnley. No, Craig Bellamy wasn't there. That's Burnley. But Bank was. I'm like, okay. Now, my question is, what happens when they dissolve this team and you want to create another one? Where is the pool coming from? Where is the experience coming from? Is the
Yeah.
same is the same thing I used against Ole. That was the reason why I wanted Ole out. It's not because Ole wasn't a good coach. I was like, Ole, you are not experienced enough, right, to handle
Mhm.
United. How about you write and get people that are experienced that could actually be your backup? Because you take the likes of McCarrick, who, in my opinion, at that time wasn't experienced enough, right, for the job. McKenna at that time wasn't experienced. So looking at this thing, okay, who is the like going back to the England setup? Who is the football? Where is the football pathway to take him? Because if you get somebody like now, now we're going to let me touch on the options before I continue.
Yeah.
One of my options is Pochettino because Pochettino has been okay. It's not
That's
anybody's
not
cup of tea, bro.
okay. Okay.
It's nobody's cup of tea. I know that, but what the reason why I'm going to go with Pochettino, you could actually say Klopp as well, because these guys they've spent time in the English environment, quote and unquote, right?
Yeah.
So you could there's a name there, Rafa Benitez, right? So
Yeah.
these guys have spent time in the Poch has been there. You know how Poch can deals with young talent and all of that. Klopp has been in the English setup as well, so he understands the nature and everything of their game, right? But
Yeah.
but for me, Poch, I think if they are willing, because now we're going to be watching the English FA with the Eagles' eyes now, because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like whoever steps in there, if he doesn't deliver a year or two, will get kicked out. Which in my case, that would be them just trying to act weird because you gave Southgate the time. How about give somebody else time? But I feel like Poch would do it. Poch, Klopp. Let me know. Special hierarchy, right? Special order. Poch,
Mm-hmm.
Klopp, Mourinho won't stay for long. Mourinho doesn't. I think there's fire in his bum, so he doesn't know how to sit in the place for long. But Pochettino, I feel like would get the best of some of these players, most of these players, not just most of these players, because he
Okay.
understands the English kind of football,
That's
and
so left field. I was not thinking about it, but now you're
I know.
giving me
No,
memories
but
of
no,
like Pochettino.
Klopp can do it as well. Klopp can do it as well. But
Bro.
the thing is Klopp cut out for international for the international scene? Is Klopp the kind of manager that would stay with one international country FA for a long time? I see Klopp as he's taking out time to actually taking out time from football, right? But
Yeah.
the man that is ready to go back into football is Pochettino.
Yeah.
On Mourinho is off because Jose is already
Bro.
with Fenerbahce, right? They could
True.
go there could be names that they know that we don't know. I'm just saying from the options that was given up that I already heard them at the backstage, right? I feel
Yeah.
like Poch is ready. Poch can do a fine job there. Poch because I don't know, but I just feel like don't call me delusional, but it's just my opinion. Because Jordan Klopp can do it, but my thing is Klopp will he want to stay with the country for a long time?
Bro, guys. The Admiral has spoken. You actually put like some things into perspective. So listen, Pochettino with Dele Alli. We've never seen the best of Dele Alli unless the best of Dele Alli was under Pochettino. That's what I'm trying to say. The best of Harry Kane was under Pochettino. Sure, he had a personal best record in Bundesliga. The best of the best of Ricky Lambert was under Pochettino. The best of what's his name? There's another kid that Harry Winks was under Pochettino. This guy understands English players more than any other manager. You can make this strong argument, When you think about it, Danny Rose, Kieran Trippier, Adam Lallana, all these guys, even Eric Dyer, you could say like the best of Eric Dyer was more or less under Pochettino when he was still a CDM until Jose converted him to a center back. So Drex might be onto something here with this left field, answer. I'm really curious. What somebody English would say as well, like men like
okay.
Mark who's
Let's
here.
let's hear what Mancha would say.
Poch to be the
Big up,
English
I'm saying.
manager. Manj, big up yourself, fam. What are you saying to these words?
I wasn't
Pochettino-
going to.
Yeah.
Do we want the Argentinian Southgate? Nope. I think for me, if I were to choose one, I would go for Tuchel. Bring me Tuchel.
Thomas. Okay. You still want to play defensive, I see. You don't want to unleash the kids. Why Thomas Tuchel, bro? Tuchel plays Arab. Man, you there? Is it my Wi-Fi or is it Wanja's Wi-Fi? I have no idea what's going on, but I can't hear you anymore, man.
Can you hear me, boss?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Please, Tuchel, it's not a bad shout. It all depends on what they are looking for, the FA, right? I know it's to win major trophies and all of that. Tuchel, it's not a bad shout, honestly. But for me, I've given you the reasons why I want, like, why I support the Poch thing, right? Because those are my reasons. Like, he's been in the England, he's been in England for a long time. I know he went to France and all of that, but I feel like he could do better with these guys. Tuchel, yes, but you have to look at it also. Will Tuchel want to stay for a long time? Because I still feel Tuchel still has a lot of he has what's the word now? It's not revenge. It's more like he feels he still has a lot to give for the club scene. When you talk about the club scene, right? Not just international, just
Redemption.
Yes, he still has a lot to give for club football and all of that. Like he left Dortmund, he went to PSG, he didn't really work out apart from the League On. He came to Chelsea, won the Champions League, which in my opinion, Di Matteo won the Champions League with Chelsea. It's not like a big thing. Then he went to Bayern Munich. He didn't stay his time at Chelsea, we know how he went. He went to Bayern Munich. Everywhere he's been to, he's been surrounded by this story of him not being in agreement with the board at a certain time, right? So I still feel like there's that thing he wants to correct. There's that notion that he wants to correct with club football. So taking him into the international football scene might just be something. I don't think it's something that he would want to do for a long time. But Pochettino, from what I'm sensing, go ahead, man. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. Sorry to keep you off. Sorry for Pochettino. I think he will. 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 My work. Sorry for disappearing. My Wi-Fi couldn't believe what I said earlier. Even that was in shock. But we're here now. I did think about this for a while England should have been out by the quarterfinals. By the way, they got lucky to even get this way, but that's why when they're here or there. I think that I'll go for Tuchel because I don't want to see another English manager. I don't want to see like a Lee Carsley, whatever his name is, under 21s. I don't want to see a Graham Potter. Forget that. Try something new. If it didn't work, fine. You know, it's not going to come home anyway. You might as well try something different.
Yeah.
Why take a risk if there's no risk, no reward type of thing? You know, that's what I'm saying.
I hear it. I think the only reservations towards Tuchel is that
that's another angle to look at it too.
What do you mean, Drex?
No, I was saying that's another angle to look at it. Like try something new. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Then, but isn't now? I know Manch came on and said something about do we want the Argentine Southgate? Nope, right?
That was just bants, by the way.
I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah,
sure.
I know it's Bant. I know. Even at Bant, I still understand where you're coming from because we saw his time at Tottenham. He didn't really. Yeah. So I understand it, but the thing is, I feel like I don't know. This might sound crazy. I feel like he would deliver, even if with not England. I feel like he would deliver with an international team. I'm not just pinning down on England now. I know England's got the pool, but I feel like he would deliver the goods. He would deliver the big goods on an international scene. I just feel Tuchel might do it, but my own concern about Tuchel is, you know how England is with the fans is with the style of play. Tuchel might just be an upgraded Southgate, right? Maybe Southgate 3.0, a much more upgraded one, right?
Southgate 2.0.
Yeah. So I don't even have a problem with that as long as he wins something. But the problem is, if you win something, are you just going to walk away and just allow the team disrupt? See what Martinez did with Belgium, right? Now, if they had let him stay, is there possibility? I'm looking more of longevity. That's the word I've been looking for. I'm looking more of longevity for this crop of players because these guys are young. They still have time on their hands, right? So maybe an aging squad where okay, Tuchel comes in and make them win something like right away, and when they retire, Tuchel can actually leave and bring the new guy comes in and take over. But we have young players in England squad at the moment, right? That you could galvanize for the longest of time. You understand? So if you want to go Tuchel route and say, okay, you want to agree on maybe 2-3 years, take Tuchel takes you to the World Cup, and after the World Cup, whatever happens, Tuchel would leave. Yeah, you could do that. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm not English. I'm not, I'm better point of view as to what I feel like, in my opinion, maybe could work out in the long run for the English team. That's my take on that one.
It's funny you bring out the point of longevity, right? I want to say this. The question that I just wrote now, I want to get you guys' opinion on this. Like, does this new dawn, new day mean that England is actually the favorites for the World Cup 2026? Looking at the fact that there is all this young talent. Well, Harry Kane is more or less being phased out. He's going to be 32 when the World Cup comes. So maybe this time he'll accept the subs coming in as a sub role. There is all the young talent that is there. We know Saka, Bellingham, Foden, that's still Maino, that's so young, so young, and with a new manager, new vision, new improved tactics, England got to the final of the Euros. They pretty much gave Spain a very good game. Do you guys think now England is the favorites for the World Cup coming forward? Starting with you, Munch.
All I have to do is click on my name.
Oh, what happened? What happened? I just heard you talking and then I didn't hear the first part.
All you have to do is click on my name. What did it say?
Your name says, let me see. It's Spain 2020.
There you go. I'll say no more.
No.
What is this defeatist mentality, bro?
No, because what it is, they are the only. I'll be honest with you, bots. This ain't this ain't a defeatist thing. I can see it clearly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the streets ahead of everyone else in the world right now. Because England at the moment they can't get through either the final hurdle. I think they'll struggle again in the next World Cup.
Yeah.
And I think Germany are rebuilding. Mark's favorite word before he comes in and absolutely kills me on stream.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that Argentina are going to rebuild. Brazil ain't the same. There may be like a dark horse, like Portugal. Who knows? But at the moment, I see front runner Spain. They got the system. They got the players. They got the tactics. 2 years is a long time to go. You know. But for me at the moment, as we talk here, 2024 July 16, Spain are the favorites for me. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. They look scary. They look like obviously they need to refresh a few key areas like Carvajal. But you know what's funny? Jesus Navas was so old, and Carvajal was also is like the older, like uh, what's the word? Like it was Jesus Navas covered for Carvajal, right? And then Carvajal came back for the final, and he did the job. And I think by the time the World Cup comes, he'll be 34. And that's, they just need to figure out who's the next right back that will be actually taking them through to the final, And when you look at their center backs, Lenormand and Laporte, they'll be like 30. That's still in that like Lomand, I think he's 30, he'll be 30, and then Laporte will probably be like 32 or something like that. So they still have like the core of the team is young. Rodri, believe it or not, he's 28, right?
28.
Yeah, so it's peak. It's peak. Spain are really ahead of the game, and it is kind of what's the word? It is kind of very, very much like straightforward in terms of, for me, I feel like they will make it to the final and most likely also be the favorites for the final. But anyway,
but here's the thing, but one more thing. Sorry to cut you off again. During the tournament, I did say Spain were the favorites to win the Euros.
Say that one more time.
I did say during the watch along, it said Spain looked like favorites to me to win it, and here we are.
Sure, and here we are. Straight up. I want to say big up to Lucky who's tuned in as well. Thank you for being here, by the way. Let's welcome Mark and Mr. Greenwood's father. Should I call him Greenwood's father? Big up, Mark.
Yo, guys, short and sweet, right? Move on to greener pastures. It's best for both parties going forward. Everybody could be happy now. No, he's not any Voldemort again. But I will say this.
We can't let that one pass. This guy said, man.
I see what you did. Greener pastures. Yeah.
No. You see, the reason why I say greener pastures is because I'm saying this on the player side. Because listen, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's a homegrown player that we raised from 11 years old to 22 years old. And we didn't protect him the right way like we should have. If it was a child in the community, we'd have fight to protect the child. Now, kids make mistakes, right? The fan base don't accept it, cool, no problem. He move on to a club with a manager that's willing to fight and protect him against a mayor. Good on him. It will be beneficial to his career. It's beneficial to United. We get the P's. Although we lose our best attacker, Smalls, you know what I mean? For the greater good is we are United fans at the end of the day. It's not Player FC. As much as I like him, it's no problem. But he go and dominate France. We all know and see it. And the fan base, it's kind of weird. They might want him back next year. But know what? Moving on from that, man, I can't let our comments slide about Spain and you, Papi. Age is not a number. In football, performance is the only factor and key. If Carvajal at 35 performing like a 25-year-old, bro, he will be there. Now, I'm not saying that Spain is going to win the World Cup because I think they're going to face big challenges because you know what, Spain in World Cup play, there are certain teams that they haven't beaten, So I wouldn't say that they will win the World Cup next time, but they're definitely contenders to win. You know, you can't forget teams like Uruguay, Argentina, Brazil. You can't forget Italy. Italy might have got knocked out of this competition, but they will be back stronger. You know what I mean? 4 World Cups to Italy. Don't say that they are a weak team. So football is funny, guys. And with United this season, watch it happen. When I tell man we was getting Euro, right? Man, them tell man going mad. He going to Madrid. He open talks to sign a contract right now. If he
How
signs
many
that
euros is
contract,
he?
he's here. What?
How many euros is he?
Man, just
What do you mean small money, bro? Everything is small
But
money this summer. This structure, they're dealing it the right way. They're spending money right. We only spent 17 million in this transfer window so far to date, you know, guys. And we have a player in already. You understand? So a lot of the deals that taking long is because we're trying to amortize. We're trying to pay down less than 20 million now and pay the balance over the next 2 or 3 seasons, the length of the contract. So that way we could spend more money. So if we have 150 million, just think about it like this. We spend 20. We could get 5 more players for 20, 20, 20, 20. You know what I mean? And that will be our transfer spend, 120 million. In actual reality this season. So interesting enough, this is how it's gonna be. But you know what I mean? Oh, some other news that I know you guys might be interested in. I heard Ole Gunnar Solskjaer heading to Jamaica as head coach.
oh my
Huh?
God.
Huh?
I want to ask Mark a question.
What's that?
What's Calafiori's release clause? Do you know that?
Well, it wasn't a release clause, but what it was a mistake on my behalf when I said a release clause. What I meant is that the club was willing to accept something in the region of 34 million for him, right?
That's fair.
So
Yeah.
that was my bad on that. But you know what, guys? Most of the players and stuff that I told man them we would sign for the fees that we would sign them are being signed for those fees. So still spot on most of the time.
Let's hope you're spot on about the 17 out of 18 games, but that's remains to be seen.
Well, don't worry about it. It's looking like it might be shaping up in our favor, you know, with the coaches that we get and with the players that we get in. Man, I might be in to be a prolific fortune teller this season, you know.
I mean, a broken clock is right twice a day, you know, but here we are, you know.
You know what I'm saying? I don't mind being a broken clock this season, bro. I will take that. Big up to everybody. Got to go.
Big up, man.
Catch you guys later.
Big up, Mark.
Yeah, same bots. I gotta go as well, man.
Yeah, no. We got a good time to wrap up the stream. Thank you for weighing in, and thank you for your opinions as well. As always, big up Mark, big up Munch, and the Admiral Drex as well. Lucky says 5-year deal. Greenwood ready to go to France. With the family as well. The father is ready, and they're all packing up. League One is lucky. League is lucky to have Mason Greenwood. Facts. I think we all know that we'll be tuned in to how he's gonna tear up that league, because like there's 2 or 3 good games. The one versus PSG, the one versus Monaco. He's definitely gonna tear up Nice. He's gonna score 3 like a hat trick at home and a hat trick away, and because he's gonna take it personal. And then from there, people will be like, maybe we should have kept him. I hear even people like Arsenal fans are talking about if Mason Greenwood does good at Olympique Marseille, they might also look at him. So this is gonna be a very, very interesting story. We'll be watching it with a close eye as it evolves and develops. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you that Ligue 1, or rather Olympique Marseille, this deal can also fall through, you know. Let's just wait and see what happens, because I do not think like it's just going to be so smooth and just, you know, everybody just accepting the Mason Greenwood move to Olympique Marseille. Anyway, this is the Football Power Hour. We're done. We've talked about Leny Yoro. We've talked about Mason Greenwood. We even talked about Gareth Southgate and who potentially could replace him. If you are not here for this awesome conversation, like he says, ladies and gentlemen, we have to.
It's a David Ornstein bomber that's dropped.
Did he just drop another one while we were live? Oh no, Lucky. That's the one that we read out. We've been talking about this. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. I think you were not there for that, but yes, David Ornstein confirmed that the deal is happening. But the 22-year-old must travel, do medical, put pen to paper. But major development after the deal between Olympique Marseille and Man United struck last week. So we shall see what happens in the next few hours slash days, because anything can happen. Remember what the governor said. Some more politicians are going to weigh in, I'm sure. We watch the space closely. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and also hit the notification bell. We'll be here bringing you the latest, talking about it. Premier League news, Manchester United news, Ornstein bombers, and Fabrizio tweets. We love them all. We're here for them until the season opens. Come on.